Welcome, everybody, to the live composing show. This is Stephen Melin, music composer for Stories. Hope you guys are doing fantastic this lovely Thursday afternoon. Welcome, Marie, Oreo, Robin, Jose, Old Pup, several others I can see popping in here as we jump into the top of the hour here. Appreciate you guys for being here and just letting me be a part of your weekly routine. Part of, for many of you, as you're working, you get to listen to the stream, and others of you, I guess, just watch for entertainment. Watch, waiting for me to crash and burn. You never know. We've been through it all here on the stream, and I was actually just thinking earlier that we've officially made it not only through the pandemic, but we've been on this show officially, consistently for like at least a year, if not a year and a half now. I think we started this about a year and a half ago. So I'm really excited about that. And I just think it's so cool just to see a lot of the regulars here every single week. And of course, newcomers, welcome. If you've not been a part of the live composing show before, say hi. Say hi in the live chat. We talk a lot here in the live chat. Not always about music. Sometimes you guys talk about food and coffee and all sorts of things. I got my cinnamon coffee here rocking today, and I'm excited. So I have a little bit less energy today, but that's okay. I hope that this show, first and foremost, is an opportunity just to kind of see behind the curtain of what it looks like to write for real commercial projects. I work in an array of different types of media, and right now working on a pretty big podcast called Dark Dice. And part of that show, which is slowly but surely transforming into other types of media, not just a podcast. But right now, ever since Jeff Goldblum, he joined the cast of Dark Dice, which is a live action role-playing tabletop experience. So it's basically Dungeons and Dragons, but it's a customized version of it. Now that we have a large celebrity on the cast, the show instantly shot up to number one in fiction and number one in drama for podcasts everywhere. So I think that's super cool. And it's a lot of fun. So this show, as it turns into all these types of media, it just has a lot of music. I think we're up to about 28 tracks now. And it just keeps growing. And we're only in phase 2 of this project. And we have our eyes looking ahead to phase 3 next year, potentially. So got lots of people working on this thing. Myself as the lead composer. We have Brandon Boone as, I don't want to call him a secondary composer, but he's doing less music, but he has his own region of the game. And then David Wise of Donkey Kong Country fame. He and I are working it together on the North Realm region of this world. And right now, there's a lot going on. We got orchestrator working on tracks. We have the copyist working on sheet music later this year. We're going to have, I guess in a few months now, we're getting pretty close. We're going to be working with the Budapest Strings again and the Budapest Choir again. So a large part of this writing for choir is coming up with the language and choosing what language we're going to use and getting all the lyrics in there. So there's a lot of details in that. That's more behind the scenes. That's not really interesting. Maybe you guys want to see some of that. Let me know in the chat if that's something that you'd be interested in being a part of. I really do try to save the most interesting bits for this show because sometimes, as many of you know, there are aspects to this business, just being a musician and being a composer, that are just boring to me anyway, where there's a lot of like meticulous editing and such. But my goal here is, as you guys get to join me, is, I open my session, I just write, and I write real music for real things. And a lot of the times, some of what I write gets totally rejected. And today is a perfect example of what does it look like when you write a first draft, send it off to the team, and then they only like a very small portion of it. So right now we're working on the Gaelhold town theme. So this is part of the North Realm, the northern region. So David Wise and I have been working on the main theme for the entire North Realm region. And there are multiple locations within there. So it's like a country, basically. And within that, we have little cities and towns. So Gaelhold is one of the major towns. And so it has to kind of live under the umbrella of the thematic material, right? And I've had to make some decisions since the last stream that I did for Gaelhold, since talking with the team. I had to make some decisions about which direction to go. So if you look into the session, I'll play it in just a sec, but just so you can kind of visually see what's going on here. As always, I don't really have a template, but I do always want to include choir, percussion, and strings, because those are my live guys. I guess the percussion's not all live. Some of it's live. But the solo woodwinds are the instruments that make up the North Realm region. They're kind of the distinct sound. The instruments we've chosen will be recorded by Kristen Nigas, and she's a phenomenal woodwind player that plays on all kinds of amazing things. You might recognize her from Ori series, that video game series, among many other things. We're going to have her play Native American flute, recorder, and duduk on any of the North Realm tracks. So that's my number one goal, is to sneak those in there, make them really the lead melodic lines that really separates this region from the rest, and not using those as minimally as possible across the rest of the soundtrack, versus the original idea we had, which was, hey, let's use the North Realm theme, the melody, in all of the tracks. That didn't really fly too well. You'll notice that this track is already in a very different state than version 1 if you joined for the previous stream. And real quick, before I jump into this, let me say what's up. Hey, Erland, Spiral, Jew, Chance, Diego. Welcome, guys. Welcome. Oreo says, you're simultaneously waiting for this and Spitfire's new library live video. Oh, I didn't know they were doing that. If anyone watches that at the same time, let me know what they're cooking. Robin's happy, got some food. Yeah, I just ate, so I'm a happy camper too. And Chance says, sometimes we talk about how Steven does not like Breath of the Wild. Hold up. I have a public confession to make. So I recently got a Switch. Originally, I got a Switch for my wife for her birthday because she's never been into video games, but Animal Crossing had blown up so much by that point that she really wanted to play it. And so I gladly, like literally within an hour, I kid you not, within an hour, I had a Switch in her hand as soon as she said that, because you don't joke around this house about video games. Because she's always been anti-video games. She's like, I don't care about that. That's for nerds. And then she totally had to confess, oh, she's a nerd now. But she loves it. She loves Animal Crossing. So immediately after that, I went and got myself one too. Finally got the blessing. And so I started playing Switch and currently catching up on all the games I've missed for the last several years. Which is kind of funny because I literally have music on the Switch and I've yet to play it. Whatever. But so I'm playing through games, and the first game I played was Breath of the Wild because I played it on Wii U originally. And I had an awful experience on Wii U, and I just hated the Wii U period, so that certainly had a lot to do with it. But it's amazing how I hated that experience, but as soon as I replayed the game with, I guess, fresh expectations or whatever, played it on Switch, I loved it. What the heck? Even the music I loved, because I wasn't as... I knew what I was getting into. Played the whole thing again and really loved that. And I beat the whole thing in like a week, about a month ago. So what the heck? So there you go. That's my public apology. I'm sorry for bashing Breath of the Wild when I played it on the wrong dang system. That's why. So end of story. So yeah, I am a supporter of all of that now. So here we go. Anyway, story time's over. Why is it always takes me like 15 minutes to actually talk about music? Maybe because I love you guys. Maybe because this show is fun. Yeah, so here we are. We are doing Gaelhold. So I just want to play what we have so far because what you're experiencing right now is version 2 of Gaelhold. The goal is to finish this track here in one sitting today, which shouldn't be too difficult to do. I have plenty of material. It's more of an orchestration / editing / a little bit of composing today, but it's just kind of filling it out and making it work. But for those of you who heard version 1 last time, it's completely different. The only thing I kept was this little intro piece. And then by the suggestion of the development team, they said to cut to the end of the track, and that has now become the A section. I've now repeated the A section, choosing a different instrument. So it's going from the Native American flute here in the A to the cello in the A prime, and then it goes straight into a B section, a completely underdeveloped C section, soon to be D section, and then the E section. So the team actually made a great suggestion about where they want the loop point to be. And since this is a 3-minute track, as you can tell here with my time code, I just moved the pieces, moved the sections along, which is really nice because as soon as you can solve the loop point of a track, it makes filling the middle in very easy. So for our purposes here today, I'm going to start at the E section, play out into the loop, and then we can talk about it. So let's do it. Cool. And then it goes straight into that E section, that final section where the live violin and stuff. So great question in the chat from Robin, who says, wait, what's a bow harp? Well, you should know what a bow harp is because it doesn't exist. Maybe I can find a picture. I don't know if I'm allowed to show this, but I'm going to find it. And I hope I don't get screwed over. Let's see. I'll show it in a way that is very quick. If I can find it. Oh, where is it? Where is it? I literally have all kinds of things. La 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 la. Let me pop it on this screen. Hey, I have a picture somewhere. So one of the characters in this world. I found it. Nice. Okay, you ready for this? I'll just do a quick little shabam. Boom. That's a bow harp. So it's a harp. So it's a crossbow, basically like you can see the little dent in there. So it's a crossbow, but it has a harp on top. So it's a made up instrument weapon. Think of Final Fantasy VIII Gunblade, right? Two cool things, put them together, and now you get something even cooler. So the bow harp, I was asked to create an instrument, and that's something that I do all the time. I love making instruments, and so I combined a bunch of things to create the bow harp. So I haven't really found a good use for it yet, but just thought that this section of the track could use. Anyway, isn't that cool? You're allowed to be super lost. I don't even know what you guys are talking about anymore, but that's okay. And there we go. Mutant banjos. That's just where we're at. Chance, I don't know if I'm going to release the bow harp. Some things are just not meant to be public. I don't know. Maybe. Right now it's just an experiment, right? Yeah. I have a sample instrument company, guys. Simple Samples Audio. I make sample instruments. For a living. One of the things I do. So yeah, I just love making stuff and recording weird stuff. Anyway, Chance asks, what was the flute patch? I assume you're referring to... I'll just show all of them just so there's no questions there. First one, this is the Native American flute. The Ventus flutes by... Who's this by? Yikes. Impact Soundworks. Yep, there it is. ISW. Impact Soundworks Red-Tailed Hawk. Really cool stuff. There's also a very inexpensive ivory wood from Embertone we're using as our recorder. And funny enough, David Wise is using the exact same patch. We're sharing a session, and it's really funny how many of the same libraries we're using, including the same duduk. So this is from the Balkan Ethnic Orchestra, the BEO, from heavens, what are they called? It's the Jade Ethnic Orchestra Company. Strezov? Is it? Oh gosh, there's so many library companies, guys. It's nuts. But yeah, that's the name of it. Now, I didn't quantize this bit. I feel like this is the part I need to start on so I don't get lost in the weeds of details. Because this is the part of the track I haven't really written yet. This is always challenging to quantize arpeggios because they're not really supposed to be quantized. They just kind of land. So the best solution I can think of is just to take all your MIDI data and do the best you can to just drag. Like if you feel like it's sluggish, just kind of drag it a little bit, whichever direction. Da, 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 da. And I'm also thinking it might just be nice to record the chords, but I transposed everything, which doesn't help. But it's just minor ones and minor fives. So I think we're on F sharp. Oh. Yeah, isn't that funny? Marie, I actually thought the exact same thing, but specifically Final Fantasy VIII, the Ultimecia castle. There's something about Final Fantasy that, especially in the first 10 games, Nobuo Uematsu always used harpsichord type sounds. And this harp turned more into a harpsichord than... Right. I don't even know any tunes. That's so Final Fantasy VIII to me. Oh well, you get the point. Right. But that's fantasy, and this is fantasy too, so that kind of medieval style. But when I made that, the team loved it. And so I haven't really found a use for it yet, but maybe this is a good use. Okay, I know where I was going with that whole spiel. I need to transpose this, so just give me a sec. It'd be easier just to do it this way. So it's F sharp minor. What's D sharp minor flat down? So C sharp minor. So I'll just do this real quick. I know it's annoying. See, these are the kinds of things I don't love to show, but for anyone looking to get into this as a career, you got to know that there's going to be boring moments. Every career has boring moments. Nothing's fun all the time. You got to problem solve all the time. So what is that? But there are shortcuts, right? When in doubt, use Alt and drag. It's the shortcut for all editing programs of all varieties. F sharp minor. So it's A sus down a half step. G sharp. Yeah, G sharp sus. And then G sharp 7. Gross. Who writes like this? Who uses such awful chords? So here's what happened earlier today when I was just kind of getting the session ready for the stream. I noticed that my flute, the range of the flute, I couldn't really go higher, and I didn't want to screw with the range. So I just took the whole piece down by a half step in order that I can use the full range of the flute without, I don't know, without getting too dicey. And I think I like this key better anyway. C sharp minor, from my perspective, feels a little bit darker than D minor. So, why not? Sorry. I try to talk with coffee in my mouth. Excuse me while I die over here. Robin, yeah, Final Fantasy X, no joke, is the game. I'm sure many composers have this story, but I owe a lot to Uematsu-san because Final Fantasy X was the game soundtrack that not only made me want to do music, period, and kind of revamped my interest in music and wanting to learn things on the piano, but it truly was the thing that inspired me to become a composer, because that was such a critical time of my life, 6th grade, 7th grade age, where, you know, I was like 11 years old and trying to figure out the things I enjoyed doing. So what a cool soundtrack, and it is forever ingrained in my soul. So I can't say enough good things about it. Recently replayed Final Fantasy X, and it was like a spiritual experience. Chance, what are you referring to when you said that sounds magical? Just curious. I'm guessing the bow harp. I don't know. Why did I do all that? Okay. Here's what I was trying to do, folks. Okay. Here's what I was trying to do. I'm going to call this C and C prime. I'm going to take... Sometimes when I write complicated chord movements, I like to just write them down in a markers track. One of the beauties of Cubase is that you can create an infinite amount of markers, so you can just make them all day. So I can have a dedicated track just for chords, a dedicated track just for sections. I can color code them. That way I can very easily visually see what I'm going to record my MIDI to. And it's kind of functions like sheet music, but obviously digitally, so that's a big win. That's why I do that. So I had to transpose that visually, so now I can just grab my bow harp, Make sure everything's all lined up. There we go. I think I copied. Yeah, I did it right. Okay, so let's find the bow harp. This guy. I don't want to even write a melody with it. I just want to do some inversions of some sort. Because that's what you do on a harp, right? You do little 6 fingers at a time. Ooh, suteki dane. Good stuff. Trying to do inversions in my head. There we go. First, what is that? Second inversion? Second, root, first, second. I'm trying to, well, write a good idiomatic harp part. That's the goal. That's what I should do. Yay. That's even better than what I had before. Dang it. So I just need to change the beat of this. So from 2 to 3. Dum bum bum ba ba da ba da ba da bum bum bum. So it just helps me. I've never seen anyone else do that. If any of you do that, let me know. I would feel very comforted knowing that I'm not the only one in the world that does this, who writes out the chords in the DAW to record to. It seems very efficient to me. It gets crap done fast. Darn, I didn't have this button pushed. Don't you hate that? When your session doesn't move, like, my hands are busy, dude. I need you to scroll for me. Foot Asians assassin, sorry. Wow, that was horrible. 4-foot assassin says, "Hey Steve, make a symphonic winds piece." I've done that actually. I've written for woodwinds. I love woodwinds. It's my favorite. I don't know if I could point you to anything right now. I have some as part of my game music packs, but that's not really like interesting for you to listen to. Cello is smoking loud. Good old Tina Guo. Come on. So I'm wondering if that might work better on here. Might just be a little bit more tame. So let me do a second pass if I can compare. Like this. Just for my own comparison. I think I like the lower better. That way the flute can be on top. Like that. Trying to get the pacing on this. I think the resolution should come a little bit later in the bar. Try another pass. Like that, right? Oh, that's cool. Oreo says, I wish Peter Jones would do live composing shows too. That would be really interesting. That would be really interesting. We should go poke him. Guess what? I think I told you this last week, but he is officially a full-time composer now. He left his banking job, which was a huge decision for him, and I'm very proud of him, and we all need to go give him lots of love. But he's working on some game projects right now. His career is about to skyrocket. It's a little tough. I like that rusty sound at the bottom. And a little secret is the bow harp. 1/6 of it is the horror harp behind me, the tuned version. That's why it has those little rust, like these. It has some of those like shaky notes on the bottom. Cool instrument. I don't know how to play this thing. Chance loves it so much. Maybe Chance will write me a part. The conflict I'm experiencing is whenever you throw a new sound into the mix, it can't like take over. And this is one of those sounds that can just steal the show, and I don't want that. I want it to still be a background instrument. So I need to write a part that is very chill. You know, it can't be this. insane. It's these moments that really make a piece. This is not the type of thing you just rush through. So my apologies if this part takes a little bit longer, but all right, let's try again. Let's just like strip it back to the basics here. Like that. That's, I might add something else, but okay, I think I now have found a good in between. It's maybe every fourth one or every eighth one to do a roll. So like like that. It's like a 2 or 3 note roll. Yeah, that's it. Because now I snuck in a 2 chord. It's actually a C sharp minor 2. Yeah, I like that a lot. Favorite. So the way I do something like that to quantize is I'll select everything, but then I will deselect by holding Control on my keyboard down here. Hold the Control key while I select notes that I don't want to quantize. So it'll be any of the arpeggio moments, the little rolls. I did one at the end of each little 4-bar section, so that's all I have to do. Then I can quantize to my 16th notes, and it will feel very natural and musical without being out of time. So let's delete the other bow harp. Hip hip hooray, yippee skippy, let's go. Too much reverb. So harsh. I want something an octave higher. There it is, hurdy-gurdy. Hurdy-gurdy is so high. It's crazy. Awesome. Way to go, Spitfire. Cinematic pads. Cool. If you're looking for cinematic pads that don't cost $1,000, then I have no idea what Spitfire does with that. If you're interested in that kind of stuff, check out Heavy Bones granular pads at Simple Samples Audio. Shameless plug, just because we worked really hard to make that really special, and it's a really cool library that will give you cinematic textures that some are tonal, some are atonal, and it's just good synthy fat goodness that really, really helps to score stuff. Yeah, that hurdy-gurdy is the jam. I'm actually wanting to record a version 2 in the very near future. I might do dulcimer first, though, because dulcimer is a little bit more usable by global audiences. But the goal is to re-record both of those libraries with the Contact 5 interface, because those are two of the libraries that are still in Contact 6, and to do a completely new GUI. Much better recording situation. I'm really excited. And of course, for those of you who already own the previous versions at Simple Samples Audio, you'll get grandfathered into the new editions. So, heck yeah. Does that sound awful? This is not a hurdy-gurdy moment. What's up, Micah? Welcome. Thing is, I have so many instruments to choose from. You guys might be interested to know that soon I'm going to add a new massive 88-note dulcimer into my studio. It's not a dulcimer, it's a piano. It's an old upright piano that is old and damaged. It's basically horror harp, but with 7 octaves, and it's the coolest thing ever. So it's a taken apart piano harp that's going to go in the studio. I'm going to bang it and bow it and make amazing noises out of it. That will certainly find its way into this score if I can help it. And of course, I'll make an instrument out of it, because why not? This made me think of that playing a hammer dulcimer. Dulcimer is totally going to happen here. And we now have a virtuosic hammer dulcimer player on our team, which I'm freaking excited about. So if my hands can play it on a keyboard, this dude can play it with his hammers, and I'm so excited. So as long as it fits. That's really cool, Robin, that you're writing a track in that style. That's really cool. Ooh, that's nice. Oh, I know Chance. Yeah, this guy's ridiculous. I've seen him play some virtuosic stuff. And like anything I write is going to be so much easier than what this guy can play. And just another fun fact about hammered dulcimer is you don't have to play with hammers. So if something really is too fast for hammers, then you can use your fingers like a harp and go. You can just like pluck all the strings like a harpist would. It sounds a little bit different. It's not as loud, but that might actually be a cool solution if we ever run into that problem. So that is just to kind of throw this out there. The hammered dulcimer, the Simple Samples Library audio that we did, it's cool, but it only has one play style. It's the hammers, right? Soft to loud. So it's usable, and that's the most common way we use hammered dulcimer. But I really want to get some harder techniques in there. I want to do fingered. I want to do maybe with some felt on there to be really gentle, to do some tremolos that are actually like baked in instead of having to do it yourself. It still sounds cool. But to actually have, the real thing, it's just going to be cool. So I can't wait for that. So let's put it in. Chance, do it. He says, I want to sample my own dulcimer in weird ways. Experiment. I, no joke, recently priced out a hammered dulcimer for $7,000 or $8,000 because I'm crazy like that. I didn't pull the trigger because it's so not a need. Some people look at cars, people look at houses. I look at instruments, okay? But it was a 5-octave hammered dulcimer, which would like take up my entire studio. But then I found a piano, which is 88 keys, Anyway. I'm trying to figure out the inversions for this blasted chord structure. Oh, that's awesome, Chance. You got it for $600? That would probably be the best. That's so cool. Chance, how big is yours? Your dulcimer. Like how many octaves? This one's gonna take a little bit of practice. Give me a sec. So da-dum-da-dum, da-dum-da-dum. Hey, what's up, Chew? Welcome to the live. Glad you can make it. Got it. Turn him up a little bit too. Well, that's the wrong chord. Should be F sharp, A, C sharp. Ugh. Darn inversions. Is that it? There it is. Yeah, that's cool. You have a 3 octave. That's pretty normal. As soon as you get into the extended range ones, the bass can either be on the left or the right. It's in this little corner that you have to like whack, then go jump to the other side. So it is pretty weird. Even if I were to get one, I don't know if I would be able to learn it fast enough to like record all this stuff. So I love the challenge of it, but doesn't mean I should. That's not really being a good, yeah, that would just not be very professional of me. It'd be really fun, but it'd be so much unnecessary pressure. Go master an instrument and record all your parts this week. If you're bearing with me as I really hashed out this C section, it was worth it. That just needed the attention. Quantizing can be the worst sometimes. It's so computery. Oh, Lord. Oh, quantizing's the devil sometimes. Piece of snot. I'm just going to record it again. Like, sometimes it's just so bad. That's a better melody anyway. Dang it all. You know what's really scary is I have to really watch out that I don't reuse melodies from the wrong location in this whole world, because what my inclination was just now was to do a little throwback to, that's the Auden theme, which is one of the towns in the Leonhardt region of the world. So that would have been totally inappropriate to try to mix those melodies together, even though what is it? Right? Yeah, totally wrong spot. So I have to, this is why I actually have a whole stack of sheet music back there on the piano, on the keyboard back here. If I ever forget, or I'm just like, what the heck melodies am I supposed to use? I have them all just sketched out by hand. Some of them are sheet music for real, because, you know, smudge marks and stuff are not good. Let me write this in, then I'll explain what I just did. It's called the Octonic Scale, which this whole soundtrack uses. Very intentional use. Performance. It's crazy how good that Joshua Bell library is. It still gets me how good it is. Sounds so close to the real thing. What's up, Jacob? Welcome to the house, to the club, family, show. Welcome. Cool. I feel like I explain this every single live stream, but as long as it helps one person, it's worth taking the minute to explain it. Here we have the Octonic Scale. It's not used a lot in music. Right, so most people are familiar, if you're familiar with scales at all, you're familiar with a minor scale. So it'd be the C sharp minor scale, right? But as soon as we make it a harmonic minor scale, that means raising the seventh note by a half step. So all you got to know about the Octonic Scale is you are taking a minor scale, but you're including the flat one chord, the flat one note, and you're including the one sharp note. So just think of a normal harmonic minor scale. Or you could, let's just simplify and say it's a minor scale. But we're including the flat one and we're including the sharp one. So it's just another way to add tension. fantastic. Way to just sneak in some extra spooky chords. Love it. It's become my favorite scale. It comes from the idea of doing a half step, whole step, half step, whole step, half step, whole step, all the way up a scale. And you can do the reverse as well, or the inverse. It's pretty awesome. It is used extensively in the Metroid series video games. It's also used extensively in the Bloodborne and Dark Souls series, which are core inspirations for this soundtrack. We use them all the time. And Witcher, The Witcher 3 specifically. Those are like 3 soundtracks that we listen to a lot and try to emulate the style. And it's very, very predicated on that scale relationship, which is where I like to use it, where I like to end my phrases hanging on a flat 1 or a sharp 1. And it just kind of creates this tension, and then it releases really quick. Because never before as a listener, have we been so relieved to land on a minor chord, right? Because normally a minor 1 is like sad and depressing. But when we come out of, well, an augmented chord, it feels really nice to come back home. Or we go to a dominant 5 chord, right? Whatever the heck it is. That cool? But something that's even stronger. Let's do a half step relationship. Or Koji Kondo uses it a lot. Zelda. It's a thing. It's all over video game music. Oh crap. I just recorded some stuff. That note, the C. It works best when you use these 1 sharp or 1 flat notes as the last note of the phrase. Because then when you resolve back to 1, it has this like really weird resolution feeling, even though you're not even done with the phrase. Isn't that cool? But I want to double this with choir. I just want to start filling this sucker out so that we're not stuck on that C section all day. I did it again there, just I did it by the opposite direction. That fun? Figure that out. try not to overwrite in this track because this track really has icy vibes to it and it doesn't need to be loud and obnoxious. Now I can already feel that this needs an instrument I've only used in certain spots of this soundtrack, but it needs a Glockenspiel. So let me add this. It's one of the only instruments I use from the Play engine because I hate it so much, but they have some good ones. So the Glockenspiel is going to live inside my percussion folder down here. I love Cubase, I love Cubase. Sometimes makes me want to scream all the time. Come on. Like, just does crap. Like, stop being dumb. Makes sense. Do logical things. What? I think it's because I'm, it's so annoying. There, how about now? See that? I'm trying to color that stupid thing, but it won't let me until I have MIDI data. Why? That makes no sense. Sorry, I get so caught in the weeds. Okay, all I need is a little... Okay, so Glock is super duper bright. Anybody recognize that tune from a certain Grant Kirkhope duo buddy magical ice experience? Boom bum ba-dum bum 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 ba-dum bum ba-dum. That's Grant Kirkhope's favorite instrument. Whether he'll ever admit that or not doesn't matter. Yeah, totally Banjo-Kazooie. If you ever listen to Grant Kirkhope music, like 95% has a Glockenspiel in it. That might not be true, but sure feels like it. Yeah, I hate East-West Quantum Leap. I hate everything about this, but they have a few good patches I can't be mad about. But their release is so awful. So I always have to go in and decrease the release time, so their instruments are actually usable. Otherwise, you're gonna be swimming underwater in reverb at all times. Christmas album 2021. All right. Yeah, it's a good addition. I like that a lot. Very subtle. Well, maybe it's not so subtle, but it works for the icy feel. Ugh, BBCSO. Ugh. It's just dumb. Sorry, guys. Spitfire is not on my go-to of anything anymore. Oh, no wonder this is... 1 second. I have a live violin and a MIDI violin playing at the same time. Sounds like poo-poo. All right. Look, I'm sure people have great use out of it. The BBCSO. I'm not against Spitfire in any way. I don't use their stuff. I've never liked their stuff. Just a personal opinion that doesn't really matter, does it? I use some of their stuff. I used Loegria 2, which is their Albion series, so I can't say I don't use anything. Here it is, right here, in the flesh. Boom. There is a Spitfire library. They have really good flautando strings. That's it. It's actually a great time to use it, too. That'd be a good moment for octaves. So I'm writing in a little high, very cold sounding, high string lined flautando strings. Means play like a flute. So over the bridge, very non-vibrato-y. My prompt here. Let me quantize those bad boys right here. That's my not so great, sort of better than a sample playing. It's actually a really good bass line. I should continue. Boom, boom, boom. With that bow harp. Nice. Let's pop it in. Just having some fun. That was not good. I like that. That's very on brand. Like it a lot. That's where the F sharp comes in, the 7. Message. Good deal. Hey, that's very kind of you, Jacob, to say that I sound like Gareth Coker. Oh, Gareth. I love his music. He's a good dude. Good dude. Let's fix that Glock. Do whatever the heck he wants. That can't be a major chord. No. Has to be a G augmented. So how do I do that? Just make sure this fits the chord. That's it. No. Like this. But I have to match it. There's got to be some low something here. Either plucks or just low strings, swells, something. Gotta fill this sucker in to make more sense. It's been kind of floating for a while, which is fine. Okay, I talked about this last time, or a couple times ago. For anyone interested in writing like Dark Souls or Bloodborne, I have 2 videos on YouTube if you care. I just love that style so much. I've dissected it to death, but this writing style, this his name Mitoshi. Sorry, mister. Forgot your name. He also did Golden Sun, by the way. But his writing style is to separate the chord. You never do a minor triad. You always do a 5th or a 2nd or a 6th, and you spread it out across the string section. So if I have to play an F sharp minor, I'm not going to play a triad. Sounds cool, but it's way more effective to do an F sharp down here, an A up here, and a C up there. But you can get more interesting instead of doing those 3 basic notes, 1, 3, 5. What if we did a 2? And then we spread them out like this. So much more interesting. It's the same 2 chords. So that is the Dark Souls style. And then to use, I've mentioned that in well, good, Marie. You've been here for almost every stream, so I appreciate you. You'll pick up on if I ever repeat myself, but there's always new people watching, so I have to cover my bases. But yeah, it's just spreading out your chords. So it just creates such a intimate. Isn't that weird that an intimate sound is characterized by a spreading out of voicing? It's like the opposite of what you'd expect. But then the second layer is to pick a string ensemble that's very small. So we are intentionally recording with the Budapest Strings for this entire soundtrack. It's a very small string ensemble. It's not a huge Hollywood orchestra. So it naturally is going to have the same acoustics as our favorite soundtracks. So it's just so cool. Anyway, let's do it. Even though I just explained that, but I'm not going to do it yet, so whatever. I do it here. It's just hard to hear. I'll turn up the swells. This is exactly what I'm talking about. It's these chords. Anyway. Octave. No, it doesn't. This one does. One sec. Robin. No, B, just a B. We've already, it's not a B, it should be an E. Right? Ugh. That's so weird. We'll fix it later. Yeah, those strings pizzicato. Ha! Whoops, I've been thwarted again. Ah, it's from Spitfire, fine. Spitfire makes good strings, I'll give it to them. This is from that same library. Isn't that interesting that the big impactful sound comes from their quiet library? Interesting. Iago. All right. I mean, these strings need to turn down. They're pretty loud. Bong, bong. Right? Just need to calm down. It doesn't need that impactful. This is not supposed to be like a battle track. I have battle tracks, and they're hard hitting. Did I even answer your question? Yes, I did. Okay, cool. I could have sworn that they're from Adagietto, but nope. They're from good old Spitfire. Blah. Eating my words today. Here's my thought on libraries, just in general. I want libraries that sound like real musicians, as close as is possible, but you have to also think, I want libraries that sound like musicians I actually hire and actually work with, ensembles I actually work with, because the purpose of a demo is to sound like the real thing. And I'm in a very blessed place where 90% of the things I write get turned into live musicians. So I have a very different reason to use sample libraries than someone who just needs something to sound good, you know? So there are certain libraries and certain companies I just don't use because they don't emulate the sound that I write for. I love small ensembles. I love solo instruments, and that's not very typical. I don't have a typical Hollywood sound. I have a very, I don't know, video gamey, fantasy. I kind of live in this medieval space, it seems, most of the time. So it makes sense to have libraries that really cater to that, or make my own stuff, which is what I've ended up doing for the last few years. So naked. But at least, hey, here's the good news, guys. I have a track. I have 3 minutes of track. So that's good. I don't need to fill out the whole thing, but there needs to be some glue here because there's just too much of musicians sitting there doing nothing, which kills me. Like this string ensemble's not even playing for like 2 minutes. The heck is that? So let's get them involved. Same thing with the choir. They're not doing much. They're only singing for half the song, so that's not good. And I'm doing great on time, so first things first, Native American flute, you just need to calm the heck down with your little swivelly swivs. That's a technical term. Swivelly swivs. The little ornaments. No, calm down, calm down. Oh yeah, before I get all enamored with that, I was going to double that melody before I got all distracted. I was going to double this, I think. The dulcimer line. Yeah. Everything's so loud in my ears. So sorry if I'm screwing up the mix. My goal right now is to help fill out some of the texture, to double things, so nothing feels so isolated and naked. Nothing worse than that feeling. By the way, this duduk is free, F-E-R-R-E. Go grab it. It's the Balkan Ethnic Orchestra duduk tenor. It's my favorite duduk I've ever used, and it's freaking free. The heck? I need to match what the pits strings are doing with the bow harp. There's too many of these pulses. So I can still do this. I just don't need the low one every time. Cool. I'm liking this. Here's what I need. I need to find some... I need to make the percussion fill in all these gaps. So let me kind of zoom out here for a second and look at where visually there are some holes. I'm okay with the bow harp just kind of taking over the second half of the track. That's fine. Cello's good there. Let me listen to the beginning again. So loud. I don't know why. So let's tame it down. This is like the mod wheel's all kinds of screwy on this particular track, so Let's fix it. It's fighting with me. Ugh. Ooh, that sounds bad. See a chance. This flute's gonna make the cut. If I was listening to this right now as the team lead, I don't think he'll like it. Not the melody. I just don't think he'll like that flute. Recorder is just so much prettier. Oh well. We have not successfully gotten any tracks approved yet that use the Native American flute, so I just have to cut my losses and move the track down. It's fine. Yeah, Strasov has some really good freebies. Dude, that needs to be first and second violins, 100%. Without all those awful slides, but... That'd be nice to fill that out with more orchestral. suck at that, but it's okay. They're kind of buried in the background. See you, Robin. To answer your question, I don't know if any of this ever gets easier. We just kind of, if you know why you're doing what you're doing, this is to serve the client, to serve the project. It has nothing to do with my ego. Be willing to kill stuff really fast. Okay, viola will also double that. Anytime you can, and like if your violas are just sitting there doing nothing, and your first and seconds are getting all the action of melody, just double the melody with the viola. Viola can play cello melodies and second violin melodies, so super versatile. Sorry to see you go, Robin. We can also do some kind of low strings to help match that. Oh, you're not actually leaving. Sorry. Sorry, you said farewell, my lovelies. I thought you were talking to us. Sorry, we don't make the cut. That's really funny. Wow. Ooh, that adds so much moodiness to this. I like how it's just kind of, I don't want to say playful, but like, I don't know, it gets dark all of a sudden. Cool. Getting some mood up in here. What the heck are my chords? Can we figure it out? Makes sense to do the scale. I don't know if I want to do that. It's almost too Baroque, too classical. That's what Bach would have done. Marie, you're learning Chinese? What? daily dose of not jazz, brought to you by keeping it real around here. Man, that adds so much girth. Love it. You weren't kidding. I think Jacob said that earlier. It had so much weight. Man, just an octave. Adding that double bass in the bottom, just like... Again, technical term. Solve this once and for all, everybody. Octonic Scale. Thanks for asking, Matt. You're not alone. I don't say everyone, but every single time I stream and I write in the Octonic Scale, people ask, what the heck is that scale? I love it. It has become my go-to scale for everything. In fact, almost all of the Monster Sanctuary soundtrack, which is like this light, bubbly, happy, but still emotionally weighty soundtrack. 16-bit, very retro, throwback to Super Nintendo days. It's in the Octonic Scale because I freaking love it. It's so much fun. And you can do it in a major scale too. It's a little bit harder. But like the boss battles, the alchemist battle, all these different things, the oracle, all these tracks, they use the Octonic Scale because I freaking love it. It's so much fun. That like needs its own development, but there's no time left in the track. Darn. Speaking of Gareth Coker, I can't help it. I really do feel like if there's any composer I probably sound the most like, it's probably Gareth. We're cut from the same cloth in that way. Just very similar influences, very similar, lots of things. It doesn't help that I'm using almost all of his musicians because I love his music so much, so it makes sense to use the musicians he uses, right? So I'm using Arlie Brighton, who does all the vocals for the Ori games, and I'm using Kristen Nigas, who does all the woodwinds. So it makes sense, right? What a great place for a hurdy-gurdy line. That E section doesn't feel right now. It needs some... It almost loses too much energy. But I also haven't put the freaking percussion in yet. So let's do this, guys. Give me a second. I'm going to take a stretch break. Don't go anywhere. We still got like 30, 45 minutes of... Let's like get this thing produced and ready to go. So don't go anywhere. I'll be right back. Coffee break. Shabam. All right, friends, welcome back to the Live Composing Show. This is your host, Stephen Melin, and if you are just joining us, well, then you just missed 2 hours of me rambling about the Octonic Scale, something you probably don't need to know. So, let's move on. We are working on Gaelhold for Dark Dice, the soundtrack. We're almost done with this thing. Getting pretty close. What I hear right now is there are some spots that need some melody doubling, and there are some spots that just need a little bit more filling out. One of the things I make sure of whenever I orchestrate, whenever I work with a live orchestra, is I want to make sure that there's no section just sitting there on the recording stage and you're paying them thousands of dollars to sit there and do nothing. No, thank you. So I want to make sure that moments like this, you'll notice there's a lot of orange space that's not filled in. And that's not very good. So you just gotta be careful, right? There we go. So you just gotta be very selective. Make sure there's always something going on. in your string section, something going on in your choir, it's okay to have a little break, but you just, if it's possible, find a way, sneak them in there. Aside from that, you have live violin, cello, not live bow harp, live vocals if we need it, hurdy-gurdy live, hammered dulcimer live, and some solo woodwinds as needed. And I'm recording my own percussion in here as we go. So percussion is going to be the one thing that we really need to focus on the most here in these next 20, 30 minutes or so. So thanks for being here. Buckle up for the ride. Let's have some fun. I think we left off with a hurdy-gurdy line over here in... What section is that? D? Hurdy, hurdy, hurdy. There it is. I'll take a look at this choir. It seems kind of sluggish. So out of tune. Okay, it's not that bad. But it's nothing compared to Mateus, who is our expert violinist, who just is so good. He recently recorded some stuff for me, and it's just makes me melt how good it is. Live with that. Need to add some of this percussion in to help fill this stuff out. Who's leaving? Old pups heading out. See ya. Thanks for hanging out for a bit. Thinking right here. So that melody there needs some reinforcement. It's a little left hanging on its own. It's a cool cello line, but there's just too much going on to leave it to itself. So I'm going to reinforce it with the Glock. Let's make sure I get the right notes. Good direction. This definitely needs some reinforcement with the strings. It sounds like there's a tremolo here. Doesn't really do anything. Has no purpose. Maybe if I can double the melody. Something like that. Maybe. Oh, it's stuck in the... There it is. Found it. It was stuck in the pedal somewhere. That's not the solution at all. Just do sweeping strings. Good old high strings. Cool. I like that. And thanks, Jacob. He said he's always impressed by how quickly I can determine what the track needs and not waste too much time pondering different choices. I've learned in this business that there's no time to experiment with everything you want to do, so just pick something, run with it, and you can always change it later if it's just awful, right? I still mute things. I still get rid of tracks, and I'd rather overwrite than underwrite and take stuff away. Mistake in there. just need some chuggity chug 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 chugs. Do you agree? Maybe pizzicato. I'm not ignoring your question, Matt. It's just a loaded question that I don't quite have time for. I explained a little bit of that earlier. Can anyone help him out with the Octonic Scale bits? I might just need to make a whole video about it because people keep bringing it up. I already landed on a C sharp, so that worked out marvelously. These are 16th notes. They're actually dotted eighths, but whatever. Cool, I like that. It's not overpowering to have the low pits. And this frees up my viola to pretend like it's a second violin, which is very nice for tone. And since it's doubling a solo cello anyway, it just kind of fits that range, which is really nice. Matt, you can ask again next week. Oh my gosh. I've talked so much about it today. I need to focus on writing. That's a 15-minute explanation right there. Ugh. I like that, like, B section. Ooh, yeah. But now we gotta add the... good old taiko drums. hours so far, just this plus the last stream, plus maybe an hour this morning. So I don't know, 5 hours. It's usually about an hour per minute. No, 2 hours per minute of music, something in that range, 2 to 3 hours for a final product. Yeah. I've sped up. It used to be three minutes for 1 hour. I said that wrong. 3 hours for 1 minute. That's what my speed used to be. Now it's more like 2. Ooh, that's lame. It's supposed to be 30-second notes. Ay caramba. Let's do 32. I just write so much music these days. Get better and faster at it. What a cheesy drum line, but it sounds so cool in the group. It's like a rock beat. Rock taiko. Time to record. Yeah. Let's get some tarpuka. Cool. I'm going to do some recording. I'm going to mute my mic so that you can only hear what the session hears. Trying to position this thing. Dang it, I used the wrong headphones. My bad. Which means I got bleed. I got some bleed coming in from the my headphones. Whoops. change my position. It's not as easy to play that way. Set my loop bar way too early. Dang it. I liked that take too. Hands hurt after that. Let me do some shaker. You gotta choose the right shaker. All right, folks. We've got ourselves some really nice percussion in here. Yippee skippy. It's been one heck of a productive time together, huh? 2.5 hours knocking out all kinds of stuff here. Love it. And you guys are having a funny chat. I was like reading your chats the whole time, recording this monotonous percussion. That was fun. So this Spirit Bells part, let's make sure he's lined up with the section. Oh, the horror flute is just a bamboo flute that I blow into very vigorously. Creates a really cool haunting sound. No. Thanks for hanging out, Oreo. I'm almost done. I'll play the whole thing. That shaker, all of the percussion had so much life to this, isn't it? That's the secret sauce. Nice change of pace too, going from 3/4 to 4/4. Almost hits too hard. I like it. Let's get some jade in there. Oh. There we go. And fade in these live drums. It's gonna be nice. Good dynamic contrast. Better. See you, Jacob. Loops. No, everybody's leaving before I finish. I'm almost done, guys. Woohoo. Don't leave me. Just kidding. I'm good. You're good. I just noticed something interesting that I have only used hurdy-gurdy once, so I need to find another spot to double a melody somewhere. Maybe here? Spot. Perfect spot. Ay, ay, ay. This poor cello needs to end right here. 2, 3, yada. So fun fact, I watched Aladdin this weekend with my kids, and it was just the most wonderful thing ever. Even though it's super racist. Super racist. Oh my gosh. Amazing music. And I'm not trying to emulate Aladdin and like the desert feel, but you know, a little Alan Menken never hurt anybody. Good spot for recorder too. Perfect spot. Oh, don't even question which version of Aladdin. Don't even. There's only one. The cartoon. Just making sure we're on the same page here. I'm a 90s kid. I don't do that live action nonsense. It's about things I hate. Like Lion King live action or whatever you want to call that. It just can't. Oof. Because I love the cartoon so much. I just can't. Just can't. I watched it. Whole thing. But I refuse to watch Mulan live action because same thing. It's like, stop it, people. this needs to be recorder. So this is what I described 3 hours ago when I started. Even though this is an ice region, the direction we've taken as a team is not to necessarily use icy instruments, if that makes sense, but to focus on what are specific instruments that are only featured in this section of the world. So there are certain areas of the world that are very heavy on the use of harp, very heavy on the use of violin or whatever, hurdy-gurdy. But anything in the North realm needs to really focus on the woodwinds. And that's what I'm trying to do, is to like make that be the representation of ice. Obviously without going too deserty anyway with all the percussion, but whatever. We'll see what they think. Right now I'm just trying to make sure all the melodies are represented by the woodwinds. Because the way that the team uses these tracks is they use stems. So when I deliver this, I'm going to give all of the stems recorded by all the different people, and then the team gets to use whichever layers they want. So they might only use the woodwinds in most situations layered with the percussion, or they might just use string background with no melody with the woodwinds on top, or they might want the full thing. So I'm trying to write this in a very layered, heavy way that allows the team to choose, and I'm intentionally making sure that there's a lot going on in each section, because I don't even suspect that they're going to want to layer all these things together at the same time. They might, but it's for very specific circumstances. But the challenge is to also do that with some sort of dynamic, highs and lows. That's why there isn't percussion at all times, and there isn't a melody at all times. So it's a tough balance, but I think this is the way I've done it so far. Really hits all those check boxes. All right, percussion. They're off. It's because I didn't play to a click. Whoops. I think I can quantize this. Is that a thing? No. Super frustrating. All right, give me a second. Quickest way to fix this is just to freaking record it. Check it, check. Ooh. This is the check. This is the eternal session today. I had to get this right, with or without you, on air or not. I had to get that right. Very easy fix. It was just easier to do it again than to try to do some weird time stretching nonsense. Here's what it sounds like now. It fits perfectly, doesn't it? Double that with Duduk, maybe. Doesn't need it. All right, folks, I'm done. Shabam. There you go. 3 hours in the bag. Finish this sucker. Hope the team likes it, because that was a lot. I think this will do well to not have the RLE vocals. I don't think it needs it. The bow harp, even that's questionable. I could always replace that with the dulcimer if they don't like it, or even some plucking strings. This is a good blend of keeping everyone busy, right? We have strings doing stuff the whole time. We have those two hurdy-gurdy lines. We have the bow harp and dulcimer pretty active for the most part. Might be able to squeeze some more dulcimer in there. Choir is semi-active. It's not really a choir track. It's not meant to be a feature. There's not going to be much language in there. Probably just ahs and ohs. But yeah, I think this is good. It's a nice even blend of solo violin meets solo cello, but it doesn't really steal the show. So I'm pretty happy with this one. I think that's a pretty cool track. So cool. Thanks, guys. I'm going to end it here because I need to move on with my life. That was 3 hours. I won't get back. But just kidding. I had a lot of fun. Hope you guys did too. Huge shout out to the troopers that stuck it out the whole time. I think Erland and Marie, maybe even Robin, y'all were all here the whole time. Jew was here, most of it, if not all of it. You guys rock. Appreciate you. You know, it's funny. You guys will never get to see the stats on YouTube Live afterwards. I don't know why that's not public information, but whenever I close down a stream, it shows all the stats. I think last time it was like 40 hours or 57 hours, something like that, of watch time, which is like, what? How's that even possible? That's just crazy. So right now, I don't ever get to share that with you guys. It's just like a blank screen right now, but you guys rock. I hope this was fun for you. I hope this will always be a cool place for you guys. Now, here's a quick announcement for next week. I will not be having the stream on Thursday. As of right now, it's going to be on Friday. I'm actually going to be out on that day, on Thursday. So I'll keep you posted either way. Most of you, if not all of you, hopefully are on my email list. I try to keep you updated, or at least in the Discord server called Sonic Storytellers. Look it up. If not, you can always actually grab right here, shaboom, right there. It says stevenmelin.com/guide. If you don't have that guide yet, stop guessing how to become a composer. It's actually based on my book, Family First Composer 25 Quick Tips for what it means to actually be a composer. Some career advice for you. So grab that. It's a free guide. You'll get added to the list, and you'll get all the notifications of live streams and such. But anyway, it will be at 12, as always, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, just on a different day. To be determined. I'll keep you guys updated, but it will not be Thursday, okay? So don't be thrown off by that. I appreciate you guys. Have a wonderful week. Great weekend. Let's enjoy the work in progress, version 2 at the moment, of Gaelhold Town Theme for Dark Dice. Appreciate you. Take care. See you next time.